You better not shout, you better not cry. Konami doesn't care if you've been naughty or nice. Yu-Gi-Oh! Banlist season is here. What's going on, guys? It's Cimo, and today I thought I'd bring to you my April 2015 Banlist predictions, because the OCG Banlist just got leaked only a few days ago, and I thought I'd rather make this video now rather than later, so let's go ahead and get right into it. So, for this list, I'm going to be attempting to predict what Konami is going to do, rather than what I would ideally want from a list. But at the same time, this list is kind of what I do want at the same time. So let's not waste any more time and get right into it. The first thing is the Forbidden cards, and for Forbidden, I actually have nothing, because I don't really feel like anything is broken enough in the game right now that it warrants getting Forbidden. You really can, I mean, I guess you could maybe argue Jin, or like maybe Vanities, but I mean, other than really those two, nothing in my opinion really needs to be banned at the moment. So that's going to move us into the limited list. Now, for the first card on the limited list, I actually have... I totally forgot. For the limited list, the first thing I have on there is Crush Card Virus, and pretty much this also includes all of the OCG errated reprints that we're going to be getting, because we know for a fact we're going to get them. So anything that's going to be coming in that set, I feel like is going to move to the limited list. I mean, obviously, because the Japan and the OCG already has it, so, and the fact that we're getting it reprinted, it would make no sense that they don't move it on the list, but who knows, but that's what I'm expecting. Next on the list is going to be Fire Lake of the Burning Abyss to 1. Now, Mega Capital G made a really good argument about this going to 1, and on my previous Banlist video for January, I also said that Fire Lake should go to 1, because I think the big thing that people are forgetting is that now that Necros are a thing, people are seeming to forget that Fire Lake is still an incredibly broken card. I mean, you're essentially getting a +2 that recurs anytime you want it to. So, that I still feel like this is a very unhealthy card for the game. Not unhealthy enough that it needs to be banned, but unhealthy enough that it needs to be hit in some form or another. Because if Burning Abyss does ever make a comeback, which it's still slightly relevant, but not like the defining meta like Necros is at the moment, I feel like this is the best way to hit the deck without really, like, neutering it. So that's going to be it for that. Then the next card actually has a stipulation. So the next card I'm choosing is going to be Instant Fusion. Now, Instant Fusion needs to be limited, but the stipulation is that's only if Noden comes out in the TCG World Superstars, or whatever the name of that set is. Because if Noden gets released and there's no, like, check or balance of power on that, our Nat season is going to be fucking nuts. I mean, it is just going to be triple Instant Fusion, Noden all day. So, I feel like Instant Fusion needs to get hit, but only if Noden is coming. If not, then this whole thing with Instant Fusion doesn't matter. It can stay at 3. So, the next thing is going to be Preparation of Rites. And I know Will is going to kill me once he sees this video, but the reason I picked Preparation of Rites is simple. Preparation of Rites is the best advantage gaining card that Necros have. Now, you could argue maybe that Manju or Senju are as well. The difference between Prep and Manju or Senju is that Prep allows you to grab a ritual spell from the graveyard and use it again. So it's almost like you're having a 7th or 8th or even 9th ritual spell in your deck, because Necros typically play 6 ritual spells. It's just the ability to go +1 and reuse one of your mirrors, whereas Manju is going to grab you a mirror from the deck if you choose to search one. So you're still getting a mirror, but it's not one you've already used. So that's what makes it so powerful. On top of that, it's not once per turn, which if it was, I mean, that might be a completely different argument. And you don't even have to fulfill both parts of the effect if you choose. I mean, you can just grab one thing and not grab. It's like, it's so good and makes Necros even more consistent than they already are. I feel like even with all the reprints, that Preparation of Rites is going to go to 1. So that's going to be it for the limited list. Now onto the semi-limited list. The first card on my semi-limited list is Artifact MORALLTACHE. Now, I feel that MORALLTACHE had
no justification getting limited on the last list because artifacts had already phased out of the meta. Maybe they were still a little bit there with Satellar Knights and Shaddolls, but those were the inferior builds of the deck. And so by hitting Moraltach, they pretty much completely just destroyed the artifact engine. And I feel like moving it back to 2 might give the artifact engine a little bit of resurgence and might give it some popularity. I don't know, I feel like it was unnecessary in the first place, so I feel like they might move Moraltach down to 2, seeing as how Artifact Moraltach did pretty much nothing. And the next card is going to be GEARGIAGEAR. Now, I know a lot of us remember GEARGIA format and how absolutely ridiculous 3 GEARGIAGEAR was, but we have to remember that the format has become so fast that a slow-paced deck like GEARGIA might even be too slow, and so it would be really good if GEARGIAGEAR would come back to 2, mainly because the deck isn't that big of a threat anymore. The rank 4 pool is nowhere near as good as it used to be, except for maybe in the exception of Necros, but all they really make is the Bobble Chain, if that. It's just the deck is too slow. Now, they do play a lot of traps, so you maybe could argue that, you know, a very trap-heavy deck, you know, something similar like maybe Yosenju or even Satellar Knights, that with the defensive and offensive powers of GEARGIA, that, you know, maybe it has a chance at the meta. I don't really think so, but I think GEARGIAGEAR can come back to 2 nonetheless. The next card on my semi-limited list is Rescue Rabbit. Now, I have wanted Rescue Rabbit to get semi-limited for so long now, and I feel like it's well-deserved, because Rescue Rabbit's been limited for quite some time, and it hasn't really done anything in the meta outside of being played in Evil Swarm. So, by putting Rabbit to 2, you know, I feel like Rescue Rabbit to 3 is way too much. I feel like 2 is the perfect number for Rescue Rabbit. It's a really cool card, and it would give an indirect boost to Evil Swarms, which is really the only, like, meta deck that could actually utilize it to its full capability. And I think it would just be really cool just to help, you know, somewhat boost that deck. And like I said, it's not even a threat anymore, so Rabbit can go to 2. Next up is Skill Drain. Now, I already touched Burning Abyss and Necro, so I felt like it wouldn't be fair if I didn't touch Cleese in some way or another, and I feel like hitting Skill Drain to 2 is the best way to do that. Now, here's my logic. If Skill Drain got hit to 1, no one would really play it, because having 1 Skill Drain, it's like, okay, we have 1 Skill Drain. It's like they could use any other card, it would most likely be better. But having it at 2, I feel like it's still playable, and they also have Recreate, so it's like almost like a 3rd Skill Drain, but at the same time, it just makes it less often that the Clee player is going to draw into it. Not to mention that it's a complete blowout card, and it does so much for the Clees, not only negating the effects of the opponent's monsters, but boosting the stats of the Clee monsters. I feel like it does way too much for the deck and should be hit in some form, and so that's why I decided to semi-limit it. The next card might be kind of controversial, but I feel like Soul Charge can go to 2. Now, people are probably going to say, you're out of your fucking mind, Cimo. Soul Charge cannot go to 2. My logic for this is really simple. Infernity Archfiend got hit to 1 on the same list that Soul Charge did. And really, with Infernities in check, Soul Charge isn't really that big a deal. And that was the main deck that abused it. I felt like if they hit Soul Charge for Infernities, that would have been enough, because then the deck couldn't go completely off. But having it at 1, or rather having it at 2, is actually kind of interesting, because it kind of makes it so that Sylvans can kind of have more versatility in their plays, because having only 1 Soul Charge kind of hurt them as well. And I feel like in the format we're in right now, paying all that life points just to get some more monsters and skipping your battle phase, I mean, the games in this format end so early that doing a Soul Charge play wouldn't exactly do a whole lot, so I feel that Soul Charge can actually come back to 2 rather safely. Finally on the semi-limited list is Spellbook of Fate. Now, Spellbooks really haven't done anything, and I know a lot of people could argue you could put Judgment to 1, but I just feel like Spellbook of Fate at 2 is really what the deck needs, because having the ability to cycle through 2 Fates is just really powerful. And I'm not saying it's going to shoot the deck up to tier 1, but it might at least give it a fighting chance. So I say throw Spellbooks a bone, and I feel like that they're going to put that up to 2. I mean, they've been giving Mermails a nice treatment. I think Spellbooks it's their time to get something back. Lastly, for the Unlimiteds, we have Advanced Ritual Art. So, Advanced Ritual Art, I feel like can come to 3 if Prep's going to get hit to 1, especially since Advanced Ritual Art really does nothing right now, and so there's really no point for them to keep this card at 2, just push it to 3. Dark Strike Fighter Unlimited. Dark Strike Fighter has seen no play with its errata, and so putting this card to 3, I mean, people aren't even running it at 1, so they might as well just put it to 3. Next is Gladiator Beast Bestiari. Now the cool thing about this is I think Gizaris is actually getting a reprint and Return of the Bling, and so it would kind of make perfect sense that Bestiari gets unlimited and the fact that they're reprinting Gizaris. So I don't know, there's like some synergy there with that I feel like that they're going to do something like that. We discussed in so many ban list discussions that Bestiari won't do anything at 3. So Konami, I have faith in you. I think you're going to unlimit this card after all this time, and when you do, nothing will happen. Next up is Goyo Guardian. Now, similar to Dark Strike Fighter, both these cards got moved off the Forbidden list to Limited, and then Goyo Guardian actually got semi-limited on the last list. And did anyone really play it? You know, maybe a few decks did, but was it like abused to all hell, like something like Snatch Steel? No, it wasn't, so I think Goyo Guardian can safely go to 3 with no concern. Next is Glow Up Bulb. Now, I feel Glow Up Bulb can get unlimited because it's only a once per duel effect, so what are you really gonna do with a Glow Up Bulb? Most decks that play Glow Up Bulb run 1, so having it at 3, I don't think people are gonna be rushing to run 3 Glow Up Bulbs, so I feel like it's kind of a safe bet. Also, it's getting a reprint Return of the Bling, so that, it might coincide, I don't know. And finally, Trigodia. Now, I've been saying Trigodia should come to 3 for a while because really no one plays Trigodia. I've seen people play Gore since it's come to 2, but Trigodia's kind of just stayed completely untouched, so I say move it to 3. It's probably not going to do anything. Let's just let it happen. And so, yeah, that is my predictions for the April 2015 ban list. Let me know down in the comments what you all think about these predictions and what you all want to see happen on this next list. You know, this is my favorite time of year. There's so much hype and speculation. The secondary markets go absolutely crazy. You know, it's just a total blast. So, thank you all so much for watching the video. I hope you're all enjoying the Yu-Gi-Tuber Grand Championship, and we'll see you next time.